Hamburger Number Four Railroad Bridge. This railroad bridge, what our Federal Department of Transportation truly going to deal with a situation regarding the railroad bridges throughout the country, not just in the state of Minnesota. This bridge still has the electrical box, is not the proper box to utilize for the electrical system, for the lights were under that 6x6 area of 18th and a half and Monroe Northeast. In any case, the concrete is missing again within the support structures, and yes, you will be seeing a lot of missing concrete within the structure itself, and you will be seeing now train going over as the bridge is vibrating while you're filming the situation occurring. Hamburger Railroad Bridge Number 4 Situational Awareness for the Federal Board of Transportation Update of 2024. These railroad bridges are all connected in linkages and within a 6x6 footprint square, and these bridges are behind citizens' houses less than a foot away from their bedroom window or living room window, depending on which side they live on, and you have an electric cabinet that you put in place. Therefore there were wires for that whole 6x6 squared area for the lights so people could see where they were walking. I don't know if it's still active or not, because there are a lot of people that I've noticed by driving by, so much padlock is completely missing, and that door needs to be replaced because of no one comes out and down that bridge, creating a wind tunnel, and that things get somebody in the face was there on a bicycle or wheelchair seized, and then you have to get sued. But there is a prevalent hole getting larger between Hamburger Four, and although again there is the situation with the bridge structure crumbling more on Hamburger Number 4 Railroad Bridge because of the high volume of traffic going across that bridge, those rail lines being utilized and vibrating so much, it is wondering why. How is our society going to run if these railroad bridges are not maintained appropriately? How is the government going to survive? It going to be a civil war as it was when we were fighting for our independence from Britain? Is it going to be another civil war that creates conflict within the regions of the nation? America's freedoms are in jeopardy all the time, whether it is a political situation. But what does this have to do with railroad bridges anyway? I will tell you one thing: railroad bridges were the backbone of America during World War I, and throughout all the other wars America was involved in. We must keep our national transportation up and going. To succeed, restraints will be activated in wartime 24 hours 7 days a week times 10 to engage the military might to make sure that all equipment is okay and perfect when we have wartime situation. So yes, the railroad lines and these bridges, if the Federal Board of Transportation fail, it will cut off the link to our national security, to getting the equipment that we need immediately during wartime, not to mention regular transportation in peacetime because of the conflicts of society. This is related to the bridge because of how well the Federal Board of Transportation is ignorant of the protocols relating to national security and the safety of the community in our society. Railroad bridges play a big role in commerce and the ability to get materials quickly from A to B, and Federal Board of Transportation are endangering greatly because the Federal Board of Transportation is ignoring the safety guidelines of the bridges that were laid out back in the 40s, and now it is 2024. Citizens of America, are we going to allow the Federal Board of Transportation to override rights? Drive in America. Are the Federal Board of Transportation going to want to control us by not allowing us to utilize basic transportation? When are the railroad bridges within our country going to be revamped by the Federal Board of Transportation? And women, are Federal Board of Transportation going to Army Corps of Engineers to be engaged to revamp these bridges as quickly as possible? Because Federal Board of Transportation needed regardless. We need them in wartime. Do not forget, in the winter time snow plows also crash into these pillars at times, which also causes wear and tear on the concrete, as well as the rebar is constantly being shown through the concrete because of all the vibration in the week, creating havoc with the concrete manufacturing protocol. Seems to be a major situation that will be occurring within the society of our communities. Are our communities worth helping anymore? I guess when the Federal Board of Transportation is going to realizes that these bridges are going to end up endangering their transportation of military equipment, then the Federal Board of Transportation may engage the Army Corps of Engineers to fix all these bridges immediately, and the State Board of Transportation is neglect to pay attention to these bridges and put them out of order and get them repaired in time, whether it is for civilian transportation needs. When it comes to wartime transportation is definitely when the Federal Board Transportation will engage its full force to get things done quickly and correctly. It is a major problem if you look at our society is so used to me, I, my and myself. What are we doing with these bridges? Are we refusing to see the warnings and the weakness of the equipment that we are so enveloped with, the equipment that we trusted no matter what, without maintaining? Look at farmers maintain their equipment all the time. It does Not matter what vehicle or machinery breaks down, the farmer will fix it and get it up and running so the farmer can do the fields, just like the Board of Transportation needs to do with the rebel lines throughout the nation, not just one state. The Board of Transportation will see what is ongoing structure issue this year, and Board of Transportation where bridge there are some for fainting concrete around the pillar structures and on the walls. Since the Board of Transportation has grass on either side of it, the root system is pushing down against bridge the concrete because Board of Transportation got trees as well. It looks like the Federal Board of Transportation is falling. Unfortunately, Federal Board of Transportation are falling in towards the grass. The electrical box is always open because people keep breaking the electrical box padlock. This will endanger civilians greatly because it still can spark if the power is still onto the lights under those bridges is an endangerment to society. If this continues, the Board of Transportation needs to come with the lockbox to keep that area safe later on, prevent citizens from getting into the electrical box to steal the electrical wires from the city in the state. These bridges were a major part of the economy and warfare required in World War I. Throughout all wars, bridges were the major target at the beginning of the war to eliminate the ability of the opponent to defend their nation from the unknown. Those bridges in this little area have not completely collapsed. You will see in this video the pieces of concrete, so to speak, but people can also mistake it for trash because in this area there are a lot of homeless people living on this bridge that will collapse around the railroad bridge. What is around their neighborhood and what can affect our community and potentially put our nation in danger due to the constant environment that those railroad bridges are in daily is like a hurricane, and if we repair the bridges with the wrong concrete material is very questionable to what we are going to be facing in their lifestyle changes within our communities. We do not get the situation under control. What you can be doing with an electrical box underneath that bridge, somebody already probably snapped off that padlock that the Board of Transportation had on when going to keep doing it because our society wants to cut all the wires and get all the copper out of Brazil, looking at for money and stealing from the state. The ongoing seriousness with this situation is a desperate concern amongst the minority. Will pay attention to each item that people do not question whether it was right or wrong. We are endangering our economy's founding basis of economic security and the ability to defend our nation if required. Think about the unknown that you are not paying attention to, and think about the national safety of our national security. If you don't pay attention to these bridges, is not just our communities that are in danger, as our national security is at an additional risk of endangerment. Citizens can also help in this. Awareness is only a slowdown. This is the final video regarding the section area of the Hamburger series of bridges, called this Hamburger because of how choppy these bridges are, because the concrete is separating from the structure of the bridges. This is a major deal for our national security. Even if they did repair it a couple of years ago, the structure is still compromised because of the improper way of maintaining the structures that they have prepared. This is why we named it Hamburger, because it's so choppy, and the failures of the state's Board of Transportation, inadequate repairs of our nation's transportation requirements. Hopefully the Federal Board of Transportation will engage the Army Corps of Engineers to take over to properly get this fixed throughout the country, not just the state of Minnesota. Please select the subscribe, like and share buttons. This will allow my channel to grow, as well as you will get updates on the latest videos that I have created. Please watch them. They are just as important for your knowledge and entertainment. And thank you for watching.